Hey, Fragrance Family, I'm Daver.
And I'm George.
And we're the Fragrance
Bros!
Come at you again with another review with special guest again, George, Fragrance Apprentice. How you doing, George?
I'm doing absolutely fantastic. I'm here reviewing fragrances with my bro. It's all good.
Great having you on again. Always a pleasure. Always love having you on here.
Cheers.
And today we are reviewing Body Kouros by Yves Saint Laurent. Now, they introduced was year 2000. It is classified as an oriental spicy. Notes are eucalyptus, incense, clary sage, cedar, and benzoin. Now, George, what do you get of longevity out of this?
And this is a fragrance that I know from my childhood. My mum and my dad wore this a lot. So I remember it having like really good performance. But now that I've got into fragrances and stuff like that, while testing it, I was shocked.
Yeah.
I was like, this is like average. Maybe that's because I've been spoiled by many beast mode fragrances thanks to the bloody fragrance community.
Yeah.
But actually this is average.
Yeah.
Which is upsetting.
Yeah, I totally agree. I get about the average range. To me, that's not really upsetting to me. I get what you're saying. We kind of get spoiled by beast mode fragrances
Yes.
that last 10, 12 hours, which we love. For me, if it lasts in the 8-hour range, which this about does for me, then I'm happy with that. If it lasts like a whole work day, that's the most I can ask for. Now, what about projection? What do you get out of projection?
It smells as though it has so much to give. As I was wearing it and testing it and stuff like that, about 2 or 3 hours in, I was like, oh right, I've got to put body coat. Oh wait, I'm already wearing it. I've forgotten I was wearing it. So disappointing. I'd say, average maybe.
I'd say for me, it's excellent in the first couple of hours.
Yes.
And then it dies down
Yeah.
into more of the average range after
Yeah.
a while. Season, this is a tricky one. I guess winter. It's kind of a funny fragrance. It's almost like a fresh winter fragrance, if you can say that. And maybe like a daytime fragrance. I think it'd probably be better in the daytime.
A fresh winter fragrance. What is this fragrance attempting to do? Like, break people's minds?
That's right.
What? This is a pretty biased review because this has a lot of memories attached to it. But I remember this being worn in summertime,
Okay.
actually. But then my sort of more trained nose, because of the experiences I've gone through, is telling me, well, this is actually autumn, fall, winter.
Yeah.
So what I would say, if I'm allowed to say it, I would actually say Vivaldi. Actually, because
What?
it has quite... I'd say it has a... Wait a minute, where's the trademark slip I have to sign? Yeah, I'd say all round. I would
Wow.
actually say you could wear this all round. Now, fair enough, it does have that kind of maybe gourmand kind of feel,
Yeah.
but it has a freshness. It has a vibe. Yeah, I'm going to stick to my guns. I'm going to say all year round.
Wow. Vivaldi.
Yes.
You broke out of Vivaldi.
I did. I broke out the V word.
For purpose, I would say this is probably best for casual and work environments. George, what does this remind you of?
All right. Well, speaking of breaking minds, this is gonna be silly what I'm about to say. All right. So just bear with me. All right.
Okay.
Whenever you say, "What does this fragrance remind me of?" that actually reminds me of this fragrance.
Really?
That question in itself. The reason being is that out of all the fragrances that I own, all the fragrances that I've ever smelled, this is the strongest memory.
Wow.
This is the strongest image and strongest picture, to the point where the concept of scent memory is actually a connotation of this fragrance.
Whoa.
So there we go.
Wow.
So
even the phrase, what does this remind you of, reminds you of
it
Body
reminds
Kouros.
me. I remember the first time that I saw a Fragrance Brother video, and when you asked that question, I was like, Body Kouros has the strongest memory. So I'll just tell you the memory very briefly, and that is a place called Jesolo in Italy, and I'm with my mum and dad, and it's really happy and really nice. It's really sunny and hot, and I remember smelling this fragrance, inhaling this fragrance. So it's powerful.
That's really cool. Well, I can't beat memories of your childhood. But Body Kouros and Kouros both are very iconic for Yves Saint Laurent.
Yes.
And I think as far as fragrance reviews go on YouTube, Body Kouros really kind of has won If there was a war, it's won over Kouros.
Yeah.
Probably
Yeah.
because Kouros has a very dirty edge to it.
Yeah.
And Body Kouros, which is a flanker of Kouros, is the complete opposite of Kouros. You know, usually flankers are very familiar. They have kind of these common themes or notes.
Yeah.
And this is like completely night and day, a flip-flop from Kouros. And I don't
crazy.
know I don't know why they did that, but it seemed to even pay off because both Kouros and Body Kouros are very popular.
Yeah, I mean, I remember, like, all that I'd known was Body Kouros. So I was like, Kouros must be great. Must be brilliant. So I just, like, sprayed it on and I was like, what? Like, this is silly, this is ridiculous. It's like nothing like it at all.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things I actually would have to say on the smell is I've always, like, objectively speaking, it actually... the best way that I could describe it, if anybody's wondering, is candy floss and sun cream.
Yeah, I totally see that now that you say that. Because I was going to say it smells very sugary and very sweet. And there is a slight eucalyptus note, although it's not very overpowering in the fragrance to me. To me, it just smells like this really kind of cloudy, sweet fragrance. But I could see the cotton candy reference, definitely.
Yes. Yeah.
What's funny is my wife actually bought this for me, and
Nice.
she now knows never to buy me a fragrance.
Oh no.
I had this on my wish list on Amazon, and I watched a review from Alex, Masters of Style, whose channel has now gone the way of the dinosaur.
Yeah.
But he had a brilliant channel, and his review of this was absolutely brilliant, and it really won me over because he talked about how this reminded him of the movie Spirited Away by Hayao Miyazaki and Ghibli
God.
Films. And
Yeah.
he said that it reminded him of the bath scene in there where, you have the steam and the eucalyptus and the cedar of those bathhouses. And I do actually get a very steamy note in this, so I can totally see what he's saying. Whenever he made that review, I was like, oh, man, because that's one of my favorite movies. And so I was like, I have to get this fragrance. So my wife actually got this for me one time, and I smelled it, and I was like, I had to return it, which is
David,
awful.
man, this is my childhood. Don't be returning my childhood. Oh my God.
It just didn't win me over. There's something
what a
about
shame.
it that is, it just doesn't seem as complete as it should be. And like, I wanted more eucalyptus out of it because I love eucalyptus. I think that's a great smell.
Yeah.
And I didn't get that in this. I do think it's interesting. Like I said, it's like a winter freshie, which is very, very strange because that doesn't really exist most of the time. And fresh scents usually have, watery or citrus notes or that kind of thing. And this is not that. It is very sweet and a little woody and very cloudy, if you will.
Yeah.
Like I said, it has like a steam note in there. And I can understand why other people love the fragrance, but it just didn't find a home in me. I also find there's something in the heart of this fragrance that smells very much like other fragrances that are popular out there, like Lolita Olympica Eau Masculin and Jean-Paul Gaultier's Le Male.
Yes, I actually completely agree. I think that this is a fragrance that's very much of the time of its release. I have a theory that because it's so of the time, like maybe Kouros was released, which is a very sort of 1980s kind of smell, and then the 90s happened and Le Male happened, which fundamentally like changed the complexion of how fragrances should be made because it was such a massive hit that maybe they already had Body Kouros like in the works, and then Le Male came out and they were like, actually we should change this, because this is what the customer wants, this is what's making all the money. And it is a very like late 90s kind of smell. They
don't exactly smell exactly the same. Like this doesn't smell like Le Male, doesn't smell like Lolita Olympica, but they take the heart and they go in different directions. This goes in more of a eucalyptus direction, where Lolita Olympica goes in the licorice direction, and Le Male goes in the mint direction. they're different, but they have a commonality there. This is marketed towards men as a masculine fragrance, but I think this is more of a unisex fragrance, and I think there's women that can wear this with ease, because I don't think there's really many masculine associations with this fragrance, to me anyway.
The whole buzz with the fragrance community at the moment is like, you know, gender's not really a thing.
Right.
I've always found fragrance gender thing a bit silly because it's down to taste. But if there was ever a fragrance that you could definitely say, look, this is ridiculous, this should be a unisex fragrance, it's Body Kouros.
Definitely.
So if there are any ladies who are interested in this or who do wear it or want to wear it, you know, don't be shy about it. Just this is perfect.
Now, bang for buck, this is about the $30 to $35 range for a 3.4 ounce, which I think is a great deal, especially if you love it. You can find really great deals for this on aftermarket online stores. So I would say that the value is great for this.
Oh, I'd say that. It's a bit all over the place at the moment because in the UK, you can either buy this for £35, which is I think for a 50 milliliter, but there are certain stores that are like 60, 70 to £80.
Wow,
which is bizarre. So I'd say that you're better off at getting this online or going for this online.
Now, what about compliments?
It's upsetting because when I knew we were going to review this, I was like, great, this is such a good excuse to wear this because, you know, so I tested it all the time. I wore this a lot. I'm around people and in my head I'm like, go on then. Go on. And nobody said anything. Nobody said anything. And I said, you know, what do you think of the fragrance? And they were like, oh yeah, that's quite nice actually. But in my mind I'm like, come on, like go for it. Tell me how much you love it. But no, the compliment factor was poor. You know, I had to ask. Yeah. And even then people were polite. That's the best word. You know, people were polite about it. So that was disappointing.
My wife, she actually did not like this. I wore this around my wife, and I didn't tell her what it was, and she didn't like it. And then I told her it was Body Kouros, and she just walked off without saying anything. So, George, final rating, what do you give this?
I was not looking forward to this question. I'm going to have to be fair about it, which is it's not as I remember it, and objectively it does not really stand the test of time. But at the same time, I think it's a wonderful smell, and I've got so many good memories of it, and I still enjoy wearing it. So I'm just going to have to give it a flat out 3 stars.
Okay.
I think that there's definitely somebody out there who's going to smell this and really appreciate it and really like it. It's not a bad fragrance, but there are better.
I think I'm going to give this a 3 out of 5 as well. It's not a bad fragrance at all, so I can't knock it for that.
No.
But it's not a love fragrance to me either.
No.
And I think this is going to be definitely for someone out there. There's a big audience for this, obviously, from YouTube.
Yes.
It is a very different fragrance for what it is. And for that, I have to applaud it. But overall, it's a decent fragrance, so 3 out of 5. So that's all we have for Body Kouros. Let us know what you think of Body Kouros down in the comments down below. Do you like it, love it, hate it? Let us know. And of course, if you haven't already, please like and subscribe down below. We'd love you for it. And check out George's channel. I'll have a link down below to his channel. So thanks for coming on again, George. Really appreciate it. We'll see you next time. I'm Daver.
I'm George.
And we're the Fragrance Bros. Bye.